Go.
So, good morning, good day, ma'am. This is the group 3 and our topic for today is the species that can be found in beech forest. Next slide. For the group 3, and here is the member to present in this slide. LEOGENE C. Gumapac, DRIZZILLA B. Salinas. Next slide. Excuse me. NATALIA D. Aguilar and Frances LAG CALIGUID. Next slide. So the first species that can be found at the beech forest is the dap or Erythrina variegata. Its distribution is along the seashore and frequently planted inland throughout the Philippines and occurs in India to Polynesia. So makita-an dyan siya kasagaran sa Philippines. Next slide. So the brief description for this is dap is a deciduous tree reaching a height of 15 meters, and the branches and the branchlets stout and armed with short, few to many sharp prickles. Leaflets are broadly ovate and to 8 to 18 centimeters long with pointed tip and broad base. Racemes are terminal hairy dense and up to 2.5 centimeters long. Flowers are papilionaceous, large and numerous. Calyx is about 4 centimeters long and minutely 5-toothed at the tip, the mouth being very oblate. Petals are bright red and shorter than the calyx, the standard being 7 to 9 centimeters long and the mean width. So as shown in the pictures at the right at the left side is ang iyang petals niya sa iyang bulak is color red. Tapos ang siyang kahoy is 3 is magtaas siya o 15 meters kataas. So next slide please. So the uses, so mo ni siya ay mga usay magamit mo siya ani. So ang kani siya sa Philippines magamit ni siya as expectorant kanang pagpahumot man ata ni siya tapos pwede po ni siya kanang iyang decoction sa leaves niya magamit siya as tambal sa ubo o sa uba. Next slide. So more information. The leaves and seed contains low concentration alkaloids and have narcotic properties. The seed contains the alkaloids hypochlorine, erisodine, and erisopane, and the leaves and bark contains poison. Next slide. So the next species that can be found at the beach is talisay, or the scientific name is Terminalia catapa. So kining talisay is common mao jud ni siya pinaka-common jud nato nga makita nga usa sa punuan diri sa Philippines. Tapos Makita ni siya, duol ni siya sa mga dagat na nagpalibot og sa Indian Ocean, Tropical Asia, and sa Pacific Ocean pod. Next slide, please. So the Talisay terminal katapa brief description. Convertebrae comprises about 20 genera and 600 species of trees, shrubs, and lianas. Terminalia is a genus of large trees in the Combatraceae family, comprising about 200 species. Etymology: genus Terminalia derives from the Latin word terminus, referring to the leaves appearing at the very tips of the shoots. So, ang kanisya dahil nga kahoy is daghan din na siya klase-klase. As makuan mo siya. Tapos, ang iya ding meaning sa iyang terminalia is pati ang iyahang dahon kuan din siya sa pinakataas din niya nga sanga sa iyang kahoy. So next slide. So the uses: kernels are edible with a sweet acidic pericarp. Seeds are good source of minerals in descending order: potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sodium. So, ang kaning iyang bunga kibali niya kay di ba sa makaon man na siya. Pag once naman na siya bunga nga kuan kanang pag ma-color brown na siya, di ba pwede na siya makaon. So ang naka-good di adto siya nga sa iyang bunga is na siya kuan po nga mga minerals like potassium sa bukog, potassium o sa calcium, magnesium o sa sodium. Next slide. So, wala siya threats kay dili siya endangered. Next slide. So the next is Nara or Pithecarpus indicus. Its distribution. Indicus is a native to tropical and temperate Asia, Malaysia, and to the northern Southeast Pacific region. This species can be cultivated and naturalized in Central and South America, the Caribbean, Africa, Asia, and some Pacific islands. So ang kanida ay siya, makakuha na siya sa tropical nga mga nasod or kanang may katamtaman na ng mga kuan kanang iyang temperature. Dili siya bugnaw, dili to siya init kaayo. Kanang sige ra siya ulan. So next slide. So distribution, Pithecarpus. Pithecarpus next slide ana. Next slide ani. Please. Okay na. So uses niya, productive uses and management. P. indicus or Pithecarpus indicus is a commercial species with multiple uses. It is often planted as an ornamental and shade plant. It is also planted to form a boundary and windbreak around food, plants, and living fences around pastures. Economic value: the reddish red hardwood of P. indicus recognized as outstanding timber of Southern Asia and is listed among most valuable timbers in the Philippines. So ang kanida siya is dako siyang tabang pod siya sa atong labi na sa atong economic. Kay ang kanida iyang kahoy niya is color red man. So reddish, may kuan reddish. So ang kanida ni iyang kahoy is mao'y pinakamahal or pinakanindot nga quality nga kahoy sa uban. Tapos pwede pa ni siya, nindot pa ni siya kay dako siya punuan niya nga pwede siya makapalandong sa atong panimalay pod. Next slide. So it has no threats. So about some more information about this is the Nara tree or Pithecarpus indicus is a national tree in the Philippines. So ang kanilang Nara or ang Pithecarpus indicus is usa po din ni siya sa national trees or national treasure po ni siya diri sa Philippines. So next slide. Botong or Barringtonia asiatica. Its distribution is mangrove habitats in the tropics of Madagascar to Malaysia, Taiwan, Philippines, Northern Australia, and Polynesia. So usa po din ni siya kita sa mangrove na siya sa mangrove dapit. Next slide. So brief description. Barringtonia asiatica, commonly known as fish poison tree, potat or sea poison tree, is a species of genus Barringtonia and Lacaitidaceae family. The plant is native to mangrove habitats on the tropical coast and islands of the Indian Ocean and Western Pacific Ocean, extended from Zanzibar in the east to Taiwan and Philippines, where it is locally known as Botong or Bitoon, Japan's Siyama Island and Ogasawara Island. So ang kani siya di ay natawag po ni siya sa siya ang tawag as fish poison tree sa laing nasod. Maka-poison siya sa mga isda. So next. So uses various parts of the tree used as folkloric medicine in native area of habitation. So ang kani siya pwede siya makuan as natural medicine po siya sa uban. Tapos ang kani iyang dahon ani niya kani iyang dahon kaniyang dahon hindi mo klaro din. Pangyaro. Kaniyang dahon is pwede siya magamit siya sa as stomach ache. Makatambal siya sa sakit sa tiyan. Tapos iyang prutas ana niya sa nasa yuta, pwede siya matambal po siya sa ubo, sa tambal sa tilaok or sa bronchitis nato. Next slide. So, dili siya threats or dili siya endangered area. Tree is planted shade as avenue boulevard to trees along the beach. So, pwede ni siya ang kaniyang punuan di ay kanang dami nagtambayan na sa dagat, pwede ni siya matanong dito dapit niya siya sa dagat nakita. So, next slide. Di naman ni ako, no? Or
ako na, Miles.
Sige. Ikaw na, L. So, I'm done with my part and my other member or member can present to share 5 new species that can be found at the beach forest. Thank you.
Wait. ako din next mag-report sa sa example of species found in beach forest. Ako din si DRIZZILLA B. SALINAS. Balu, Cordia subcordata. Distribution, Eastern Africa, South Asia, Southeast Asia, Northern Australia, and the Pacific Islands. Brief definition, a tree growing up to 2 to 11 meter high, prolific bloomer, flowers are bright reddish orange, has a lovely tree form. So kani siya nga tree kay medium sized lang ni siya and can be found in coastal areas and wetlands of an island. Uses. The wood is used for timber and in making utensils. Threats, not endangered. Ang siyang more information, burns easily and called as kerosene tree. In Papua New Guinea, the tree is good source of firewood. Mao ni siyang natawag siya nga tree. Next is sampalok, Tamarindus indica. Distribution from Africa to South Asia and throughout Oceania, Southeast Asia, Taiwan, and China. Brief description. Grows to a towering 20 to 30 meters and makes for a beautiful shade. So, kani siya, perfected ni siya for kung gusto mo picnic sa beach, kani siya, best ni siya for shade. Uses. In traditional medicine, it is used in wound healing, abdominal pain, diarrhea, dysentery, parasitic infestation, fever, malaria, and respiratory problems. It is also commonly used in tropical countries because of its laxative aphrodisiac properties. Shade, and the fruit is used for seasoning foods. Ang example ani kay ang fruit sa kaning sampalok kay magamit siya as seasoning sa mga cuisine. Labi na sa Philippines kay ginagamit siya nato siya pansagol sa sinigang. Ang kaning sampalok kay ang India ang pinakadako nga producer sa tamarind. Canary Island date palm, Phoenix canarensis. Distribution, native to Canary Islands. Kani siya kay sa laing bansa ni siya nga species but native sa Canary Islands. Brief definition. Phoenix canarensis is a species of flowering plant in the palm family Arachea. Kani pud siya matawag pud ni siya og kanang pineapple plant kay pag same ra siya og sa pineapple. Tapos ang iyang leaflets kaning mga murag dahon-dahon ni nagamay moabot ni siya og 80 to 100 leaflets. Uses. The sap of this date palm is used to make palm syrup. Ang kaning sapi kanang murag liquidy nga nagtubod sa iyahang branch and famous pud ni siya dito sa sa Canary Islands for landscape sa beach o sa mga balay. Threats, not endangered. Sunod kay ang almond tree or Terminalia catapa. Na-mention na ni LEOGENE sa iyahang dito sa pinakauna, mag-add na lang kog information. Distribution, native to Asia, Australia, the Pacific, Madagascar.
Excuse me. Kuan ni siya kanang another talisay. Type ni siya sa talisay. Daghan siya mga species variant kibali. So lahi so, po niya siya pero family lang.
Family. Sige. Sorry. Okay, brief definition. is a large tropical tree in the leadwood tree family Corbiticaea. As mentioned ni Leogene, ang uses ani herbal medicine. Ang katong leaves niya can be used as kaning pantambal. Ang threats not endangered. Ang kaning almond tree or Terminalia catapa can also be called as wait lang. English common names in English include country almond, Indian almond, Malabar almond, tea almond, tropical almond, beach almond, and false kamani. Nani siya fruits nga pareha-pareha na siya og lasa sa almond nuts. Padre de cacao or cacahuati. Distribution: Honduras, Philippines, Belize, and Guatemala, Nicaragua. Brief definition: a good medium-sized buffer tree grows easily in sandy, moderately and wind-blown areas and can be propagated easily by directly planting cuttings from branches. So kani siya, pwede na siya matanom nga bisag branches lang kay mo mutubo ra gihapon siya without the roots. Pwede ra branches. Uses: the tree is used for various purposes such as live fencing, pangkan sa mga balay, fence, fodder, coffee, shade, firewood, green manure, and rat poison. The tree can also be used for medicinal and insect repellent properties. Threats not endangered. More information is marada ito. Sorry. Thank you.
So good day everyone. I am Francis LEG CALIGUID and this is my species, Husain Bruguera cylindrica. So this description. Bruguera cylindrica is a small tree growing up to 20 meters or 66 feet tall, but often grows as a bush. These medium-sized trees usually grow in the upper areas of the river banks, not directly in the water, but which are occasionally reached by very high tides. So pag high tide ang tubig sa dagat, so kana gid siya maabot siya sa water. So next is the uses of Busain Bruguera cylindrica. The timber of Bruguera cylindrica is dense, reddish, and strong, and is used in construction. It is used for parts of the hull, and especially for the keel of canoes in the Maldive Islands. It burns well as firewood and can be converted into charcoal. So, ang tanin siya mga kahoy, kung sunog na siya, pwede siya mahimo nga uling lubong na siya, namay ko na process. So, ito siya guys. Next is Malibago hibiscus tiliaceus. Description: with a round spreading crown, leaves are also heart-shaped but rougher in texture compared the banalo and have a slight pricky feel. The malibago can be prone into a large bush or will grow to a small tree, distinctively attractive with its exotic bright yellow flowers. So, malibago, the uses of malibago. Hibiscus tiliaceus is used in living fences and windbreaks as a shade tree and as a support for climbing crops. So, tabal, or in the scientific name is Deres trifoliata. The description: a small shrub-like tree with leathery, light green leaves, similar to the ficus. Its small pink flowers grow in clusters on long spikes. Ideal for landscaping in beach gardens. So makita na siya sa mga nagapon siya sa beach and mga landscaping sa mga houses. So beach gardens usually makita siya. So The uses. This species has been used as a fish poison and as an arrow poison. So, ang leaves niya, pwede siya mahimo nga fish poison nagamit sa kanang pampana sa mga tao kung managat sila. So, next is Caballero or flame tree. And its scientific name is Dilonex regia. The description, this species has beautiful fiery red orange flowers that cover the entire summer months as seen in the university campuses in Metro Manila like the Ateneo and the UP and along the Pangasinan highways on the route to Baguio. Among the largest caballeros along the coast can be seen in the seaside hills of the Culion Island in Palawan. The uses of Dilonex regia. Traditionally, Dilonex regia has been used in medicine and various elements such as chronic fever, antimicrobial, constipation, inflammation, arthritis, hemoplegia, piles, boils, pyorrhea, scorpion bite, bronchitis, asthma, and dysmenorrhea. Next is pagatpat, or its scientific name is Suniratia alba. The description of this pagatpat is a tall, beautiful foreshore tree. It grows in areas of the beach that take in shallow, knee to waist high waters at high tide, but are completely drained at low tide. It is known to attract colonies of fireflies. So the uses of the tree is sometimes harvested from the wild for local use as a source of fuel, edible fruit, tannins, and a cork substitute. So next reporter, that's all. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Annie V. Martinez, and I am going to report the 5 species, which is the Dungon latte, ipil, kubi, kalampas, and neem. So first, I am going to discuss about the Heritera littoralis, or also known as the Dungon latte. So dungon is a large tree measuring up to 45 meters in height and 100 centimeters in diameter. It is slightly fluted at the base and vast buttresses. Its outer bark is light brown and flaky. So dungon latte is found in forests at low and medium altitudes. It is abundant in Luzon, Mindoro, Masbate, Panay, and Samar. Next, please. So Dungon latte is recommended for steamed bent work where strength and durability are required. Due to the toughness of the wood, it is favored for bulletproof shields. So next is the Instia bijuga colib, or also known as ipil. So ipil is a medium-sized, slow-growing tree reaching a height of 20 to 45 meters and a trunk of 0.5 to 5 meters. Mature trees have steep, rounded buttresses. Bark is 5 to 8 millimeters thick, gray in color with an orange tinge. So ipil can be found along the seashore and in some localities in inland forest from the Babuyan Islands and northern Luzon to Mindanao and Palawan. It also occurs in India, Burma, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, New Guinea, to Australia, and the Pacific Islands. So what are the uses of epil? So epil can be used, its bark can be used for diarrhea treatment because it contains tannin. Its fruits can be used as laxative, and its bark is used also for urinary conditions treatment. So next species is the Artocarpus nitidus tricol, or also known as kubi. Kubi is a medium-sized tree growing to a height of 15 meters. Bark is black to brown, longitudinally fissured. Leaves are oblong, ovate, acute, up to 12 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide, with prominent veins. Flowers are small. Fruits are irregularly shaped, 4 to 8 centimeters in diameter, several seeded and covered with yellowish brown or gray tomentum. So the distribution of kubi can be found in Artocarpus in China, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. So it is restricted to the Philippines and found in thickest and forest at low and medium altitudes in Luzon, Mindanao, and Cebu. Next, please. So it is used for house construction, decorative furniture, making blowpipes, gun handles, joinery, and paneling. So next is the tuna calantasmer, or also known as calantas. So calantas is a large forest tree. Leaves are alternate, oddly pinnate, 30 to 50 centimeters long or longer. Panicles are profuse, locks equal to or shorter than the leaves. Seeds are distinctly but unequally winged on each side. It is used in the manufacture of cigar boxes, also used for decorative applications such as timber veneers, paneling, joinery, and furniture. Also used for building boats, piano cases, and carving. So it is found in primary forest at low and medium altitudes in the Batan Islands, Cagayan to Sorsogon, provinces in Luzon, Mindoro, Samar, Negros, Leyte, Cebu, and Mindanao. Also reported in Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Papua New Guinea. So lastly is the Azadirachta indica, or also known as neem. Neem trees can reach 15 to 30 meters or 49 to 98 feet in height and have attractive rounded crowns and thick furrowed bark. The compound leaves have tooth-bed leaflets and are typically evergreen but do drop during periods of extreme drought. Neem is likely native to the Indian subcontinent and to dry areas throughout South Asia. It has been introduced to parts of Africa, the Caribbean, and numerous countries in South and Central America. So neem is commonly used in shampoos for treating dandruff and in soaps or creams for skin conditions such as acne, psoriasis, and athlete's foot. It is also a component in some toothpaste and mouthwashes, especially in the Indian subcontinent. And young twigs are used directly as crude toothbrushes in rural areas. So that ends my report. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalia de Aguilar. I'm going to tackle the 5 species of beach forest. Fabaceae or wait pa, or leguminosae description. Fabaceae have an essential worldwide distribution, being found everywhere except Antarctica and the high Arctic. The trees are often found in tropical region, while the herbaceous plant and shrubs are predominant outside the tropics. Next, please. Nalaglag sa ako. Brief description. The Fabaceae or Leguminosae Legume pea or bean family are a large and economically important family of flowering plants. It includes trees, shrubs, and perennial or annual herbaceous plants which are easily recognized by their fruit and their compound stipulate leaves. Next, please. Let's we we class all GH possibly extent G1 critically impaired and G2 impaired. The drum species is the nature served database as threatened and all others as not threatened. Species with range rank across our definition of threatened and not threatened indicate our uncertainty in status and were removed prior and to analysis. We were thus left with 401 drum species for which we had information. Threat status was correlated with other compound ecological and life history attributes. Next, please. Okay, more information. The characteristics of the Fabaceae are distinctive in being trees, shrubs, vines, or herbs with stipulated compound leaves and typically pentamerous flower, usually with a single unit carpulous vessel with marginal presentation the fruit of legume. Okay, next. Ay, paano siyang Fabaceae kanang makahiya. Ang sa ato pa. Next is aguhu. In scientific name, Casuarina ecese. Basta ececetefolia. Distribution. Ecosetiophilia has the widest natural distribution of all Casuarina species, occurring naturally along the tropical coastlines from northern Queensland and the northern territory in Australia, throughout the whole Melshan region to the Kera Isthmus in Thailand. Next, please. Brief description. A fast-growing, evergreen tall tree that is capable of growing to height of 20 to 30 meter. Young bark is smooth and grayish brown in young plants, turning to rough, thick, fissured, and splitting into strips and flicks and dark brown into tree in all trees. Branches are long with soft dark green and sometimes gray needles. Kuan siya yung paraan ni more siya og kasame sa Christmas kuan bitaw tree kanang murag yung leaves bitaw nga gabi siya mga needle. Ano siya next please. Uses. The most common uses of C. Ecosetiophilia are for coastal sand dune stabilization, shelter belts, land reclamation, and erosion control. It is a popular agroforestry tree in coastal and slain areas. In Sarawak, it is protected because its importance in controlling coastal. Next, please. Yung threats is invasive tree. Casuarina ecosetiophilia has spread rapidly in Turks and Caicos, most notable in last 50 years. But there are few data on its range and impact on the island. Kuan siya. So nagkaanam siya kadaghan gyapon karon. Next please. Mangyang more information is Casuarina ecosetiophilia, the Australian pine tree or whistling pine tree is a oak species of the genus Casuarina. Next, please. In scientific name is Pungamia pinnata. Distribution. Pungamia tree is indigenous to the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. The tree grows abundantly along the coast and rivers bank in Myanmar. It has been successfully introduced to humid tropical regions of the world as well as part of Australia, New Zealand, China, and the US. Next, please. Next, please. Okay, a brief description. Ani is a gardenly tree reaching a height 6 to 25 meter and diameter of 45 centimeter. Bark is dull gray or pinkish brownish, smooth but swallowly fissured. The inner bark has a strong smell of crushed bean pad. Next, please. Pongamia pinnata is a fast-growing, medium-sized, evergreen or briefly deciduous glabrous shrub or tree with a broad crown of spreading or drooping branches. It usually grows 15 to 25 meters tall with a straight or crook bowl 50-80 meters. Okay, next. 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 Okay. Okay, Banalo. Banalo or Malapuso. In scientific name, Tispicia papilnia. Distribution. Several different views are provided on the limits of the native range. According to USDRARS 2015, T. papilionia Papua has a very broad native range and is widely distributed throughout the tropics. Though it is commonly found in coastal areas in Central America, Northern South America, and Caribbean, Africa, Asia, Northern Australia, and on India and Pacific Ocean islands. Una iya kakuan, nasa siya nag-exist. Next, please. Brief description. T. papilionia is a medium-sized tree, usually 6 to 9 meter tall with a dense evergreen crown, usually 6 to 9 meter tall with a dense evergreen crown, occasionally to 12, 30, 20 meter. The trunk is straight, branchless for up to 3 meter, often twisted or bent, becoming hollow with age without buttresses 20 to 60 centimeter in diameter, with gray or light brown bark, smooth or slightly fissured, becoming thick and rough, and an inner bark pink to yellowish, soft and fibrous. Next, please. uses. A decoction of a bark and fruit is mixed with oil and used to treat scabies. A decoction of the astringent bark is used to treat dysentery and hemorrhoids, and a maceration of it is drunk for cold. A cold infusion of the bark is used to treating dysentery, diabetes, gonorrhea, yellow urine, and thrush. Next, please. Tatsnia has a wide distribution. It's not threatened by genetic erosion. So, wala siya dili siya endanger. Next, please.
Live iya. Oh, nasa lang kay.
Sa
Nasa lang kay nawala. Ano ka to?
Last na ko, dili na ko sa kuan. Dangkalan, bitaog,
Bitaog sa kano.
Trisha, pinata. Oo.
Pwede na ako. Paano lang? Ako na isa na sa squad. Boy. Pwede na klase gawin lagi. Ang isa ka squad, ang isa ka trio. Hurot pa na ako. Ang isa na mas loyo din ako. Akong life kay ko ano lang. 1/4. Kas.
Mana? Gawin na ba juga?
Wala pa. Sige tabi. Kumana mas kananan.
Okay. Dangkalan or bitaog. In scientific name, Thespesia pinnata. Distribution. Calophyllum inophyllum is a large evergreen plant commonly called tamanu, masswood, beech, calophyllum, or beauty leaf. It is
Winter
native
mo
to
na.
tropical Asia.
Hindi ha, nag-ambot pamili ha. Naapil
wala
ya ko adto.
Hindi ko pong gani.
Excuse me, LEOGENE.
Ami daw
Paliw ko
what
sa
tabi.
imong mic.
Oh, sorry. Tunog ko sa ano ko. Yup na lang sabi.
famous.
Okay, distribution. Calophyllum inophyllum is a large evergreen plant commonly called taman, mass beech calophyllum, or beauty leaf. It is native to tropical Asia and Walasi. Due to its importance as a source of timber for the traditional shipbuilding of large outrigger ships, it has been spread in prehistoric times by the migration of the Austronesian people to the island of Oceania and Madagascar, along with other members of the genus. It has since been naturalized in region in the East African coast. It is also a source of the culturally important tamano oil. Next, please. Brief description. Calopilum inopilum, low branching and slow growing tree with a broad and irregular crown. It usually reaches 8 to 20 meter, 26 to 66 feet in height. The flower is 25 millimeter, 0.98 inches wide and occurs in racemose or paniculate inflorescence consisting of 15 flowers. Sorry, next please. Next please. Okay, yes. All parts of the tree are used in traditional medicine such as seed oil for curing rheumatism and skin infection. Juice purgative, bark used internal bleeding, and as an astringent, and timber is used for heavy construction that can all make fine furniture, panels, and clothing. Ano yung gamit? Next, please. More information. Calopilum, phylum locally known as Dangkan Taog Tagalog, is a tree in the family Gutiferae. It can reach a height of 25 to 35 meter and diameter at breast height of 150 centimeter. Its trunk is short with the low big branches and a deep spreading crown. The bark outside is roughly dark brown to blackish. Next, please. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Mura to sa amo, ma'am. And then,
Hi, good morning. This is me, CHARLEMAGNE, DAPETILLA, and I'm going to present another 5 examples for species can be found in our beach forest. Next slide, please. First, we have api-api or Avicennia marina. Distribution. Api-api can be found in Quezon and Camarines provinces in Luzon and in Mindoro, Palawan, Samar, Negros, and Mindanao, along muddy seashores and tidal streams. Also occurs in India, southern China, and Taiwan through Malaya to New Guinea. For description, api-api is a shrub or small tree reaching a height of 8 meters, often flowering when less than 1 meter high. Bark is light gray to brown, smooth with small cracks. Leaves are leathery, opposite dark green above and pale and hairy below. Oblong ovate to elliptic, 5 to 10 centimeters long, 2.5 centimeters broad, usually rounded at the apex and narrow at the base. The api-api uses seeds soaked in water overnight, boiled used as famine food, and fruits sometimes eaten by fishermen. And also in medicine, resin from the sapwood used locally for snake bites, also in ulcer. So gitatambal po siya sa mga kanang mapakan o halas or nai ulcer. Then threats, critically endangered. Next. Second, we have tangal or Seriops tagal. Distribution. Abundant in mangrove swamps in the Philippines, also occurs in India to Malaysia. Description. Tangal is small tree growing up to 8 meters or less in height with mini buttresses at the base. Bark is dark red. Leaves are ovate, 5 to 7.5 centimeters long, 2.5 centimeters wide, blunt at the tip, and pointed at the base. And also the flowers are about 6 millimeters in length, borne on short stalks. The tangal uses. The barks are used for diabetes, and the fruits reportedly eaten by the natives of Andaman. And also decoction of the bark used to stop hemorrhages applied to malignant ulcers. Threats. Listed as vulnerable on the red list of threatened plants in Singapore. Next. Third, we have piagaw or Xylocarpus grantum. Distribution. Throughout the Philippines in mangrove swamp, bordering tidal streams, also occurs in India and Ceylon, through Malaysia and New Caledonia. Description. Piagaw is a small tree growing 3 to 12 meters. Leaves are arabically pinnate with pairs of leaflets, which are elliptic or obovate, 8 to 18 centimeters long, 4 to 8 centimeters wide, with pointed base and rounded tip. And the piagaw uses. The fruits or seeds are powdered or decoction are used for diarrhea. And the bark used for candidiasis, joint, chest, and vocal pains. Threats, less concern. So, kay siya kanang dili kay siya common siya makitan sa di kay siya endangered. Next. Kakawati or Gliricidia sepium. Distribution, widely introduced across tropical and subtropical regions. Subtropical regions like Asia, Africa, and West Indies. Description. A fast-growing medium-sized tree grows easily in sandy and moderately wind-blown areas. So dali ra siya motubo bisag asa sa common ni siya sa ato. Then uses animal feed, shade, living fences, erosion control, and support plant. And the plant itself is also used in antibacterial medicines. Then threats, invasive species. Kay kini ang kining kakawate, this species is listed as invasive in Australia, Hawaii, the Philippines, Cook Island, French, Polynesia, Tonga, Singapore, Comoros, and Trinidad and Tobago. Those said countries, kanang ilang gilist nga invasive na ang kini siya nga species sa ilang country. And other information, kakawati is commonly known as madricacao. Next, please. Lastly, we have dungon, or Heritiera litoralis. For distribution, this species can be found in South Asia, Southeast Asia, and tropical Africa. Description. Heritiera litoralis, the looking glass mangrove, is a large tree with wing-shaped nuts, which is most easily recognized by the silvery scales on the underside of its leaves, which therefore appear green from top and white from below, although from below. And the dungon uses the tree harvested for timber. The tree harvested for timber and is valued for its toughness, durability, and resistance to salt water. As such, it is commonly used in shipbuilding and in making pilings, bridges, and wharves. And the fruits of species in the genus is used in Philippine cuisine to neutralize the fishy taste of kinilaw. Kinilaw is a local dish of raw fish, vinegar, or citrus juices. Another species used this way is the fruits of the tabon-tabon tree. And threats. The dungon is a slow-growing tree, but not endangered. Thank you.
Start na. Okay. Hello guys. Good morning. These are the other 5 species that we can find in beech forest. By the way, I'm SHERLYN ORTIZ. The 5 name of my species are banilad, anahaw, sunting, banoyo, and yucca. And we can tackle the first species in next slide. Banilad, and the scientific name is Stericula futida. It was distributed widely in Luzon and Visayas Island. Banilad is a large, wide-spreading tree reaching a height of 30 meters and 65 centimeters in diameter. Its barks are brown and smooth, while the inner bark is light brown. Banilad can be found in the Luzon and Visayas region in the lower forested belt up to the 700 meters altitude. The flowers are small and pink-red, born in considerable numbers on compound inflorescences. The fruits are large and red. Banilad trees is endangered or threatened. The uses of banilad is for ropes braided from its bast fiber. Wood can be used for construction, light construction. Other information is banilad is also known as banaklaw in Ilocos, while in Mindanao is also known as banikad. And the next is anahaw. Anahaw, which is scientific is saribus. This species is common in almost all regions of the country, especially in lowland forests and Benguet. So, wala man siguro ikaw na nga way nakailaan no. Okay. Benguet and La Union, Cagayan, Pangasinan, Zambales, Pampanga, Laguna, Quezon, Camarines, Albay, Negros, Cagayan de Oro, and in the province of the Visayas and Mindanao. Description is an erect palm reaching a height of 15 to 20 meters and 25 centimeters in diameter. The trunk is smooth, straight, and marked with close, rather shallow, obscure wings, which are the left scars. The leaves are coated at the top of the trunk, and ascending anahaw is not endangered species since it's normally scattered
in forests as low to medium altitudes. Uses is ecologically and how leaves can purify air, has a cooling effect, and improves water supply, and its roots hold the soil. Colonists who years back began planting the stump tree that gave the Philippines its national leaf are now reaping the fruits of their efforts. Another information is Bill number 3926, also known as an act declaring the national symbols of the Philippines, aims to make anahaw the national leaf of the Philippines. So mo ni siya ang nagpakuan nga himuog national babansang dahon sa Pilipinas ang anahaw mo niyang gisunod sa atong gobyerno. Then the next species is sunting. Scientific name is Cassia alata. Actually, Cassia alata is a synonym of Senna alata. Senna alata is an important medicinal tree as well as an ornamental flowering plant in the subfamily Pineonidae. It also known as emperor's candlestick, candlebush, candelabra bush, Christmas candles, emperor's candle plant, and ringworm shrub. So, if kuan pangtambal ni siya sa kanang mga ringworm like buni kung kisay nakataya na. Candle tree are remarkable species of Senna. It was sometimes separated its own genus Herpetica. So ang iyang uses is one of the medicinally important plants in the Philippines. It has been used to cure poisonous bites and venereal eruptions. The leaves are anti-herpetic, purgative, and cure for ingrown and other skin disease. So, kasagaran is pangkuan siya sa mga katol-katol or skin disease. So, ang distribution is according to Erwin and Barnby, 1982, S. alata, or known as Senna alata, is only native to Colombia, Venezuela, the Guyanas, and Brazil. It's widely cultivated as an ornamental and for medicinal purpose in tropical and subtropical regions of the world. Reported as naturalist in Asia, Indonesia, Africa, South of North America, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, and Oceania. Okay na. Kasi yung no. Next is the Banuyu. Scientific name is Walasyondendron celebicu. A tree growing up to 25-meter high and 100 centimeter in diameter. Outer bark has left scar mark and leaves are benipinnate. 3 to 5 pairs of pinnae. Flower-bearing portion is rusty brown. Pods are dehiscent. Banuyod was distributed along coast from Luzon to Mindanao, Celebes. And its use is high-grade interior work, cabinet making, gun stocks, pattern making, carving, and sculpture. The highly figured logs make excellent veneer stock. So, sikawan siya sa mga kahoy. Gamit siya sa kahoy ng mga butang, mga gamit sa balay. Okay, next slide. And the last one is yucca. Scientific name is Agavoides. Yucca is a genus of perennial shrubs and trees in the family. As Asparaginaceae subfamily Agavoideae. Its 40 to 50 seeds are notable for their rosettes of evergreen. Tough sword-shaped leaves are large terminal panicles of white or whitish flowers. Distribution. The natural distribution range of the genus Yucca is 49 species and 24 subspecies, covers a vast area of the Americas. The genus is represented throughout Mexico and extends into Guatemala. Yucca guatemalensis. Yuccas have adapted to an equally vast range of climatic and ecological conditions. So, ang uses sa yucca is, yung root is for the root of the non-flowering plant is used to make medicine. Yucca is used for osteoarthritis, high blood pressure, migraine, headaches, inflammation of the intestine or colitis, have ulcer, stomach disorder, diabetes, and liver and gallbladder. Actually, daghag kuan ang anahaw, no? So, daghag gamit ang iyang kuan, actually siyang dahon. Okay na. And nara ang iyang dahon. Sa mature leaves, pwede siya himo na to og nipa para sa atong sa balay, libre na sa mga rural nga area. Then ang young leaves are made into raincoats, hats, fan, and containers for rice, charcoal, and etc. So, deserve siya na mabansang dahon. Moroto, thank you.
Ay, Army, ikaw na.
Gusto niyo pa bang bigyan ng second chance?
Tubay, Army, ikaw na.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is the other 5 species of beech forest. Next, please.
I-click down one.
First is the Barringtonia asiatica. Distribution. Barringtonia asiatica is native to tropical coast and island of the Indian Ocean and Western Pacific Ocean. It has been introduced into East Africa, Hawaii, and the West Indies, where it has naturalized. Description. Barringtonia asiatica or sea poison tree is a large salt-tolerant landscape tree commonly associated with coastal area of originates from the region extending from tropical Africa through India to Southeast Asia, Australia, and the Pacific. It is typically 10 to 15 meters or 30 to 50 feet tall and develops a short trunk with a low branching structure. Supporting densely branched, wide spreading crown, the leaves are large, club-shaped or nearly so, glossy green, leathery, and spirally arranged at the ends of the branches. Blooms are on and off throughout the year, with large showy white tulip-like flower buds that open at the night to reveal their long hair like filaments, which are white with pink tips and when extended collectively resemble a powder puff. The flowers are followed by 4-sided woody fruit about the size of juvenile coconut. Green when young, they were mature to a dull gray-brown. Unlike a coconut will float adrift on the ocean until the land on new shores. Use. It is commonly cultivated in seaside gardens and landscapes for its showy foliage, flowers, and a welcome shade that it offers against the hot midday sun. Its high tolerance to salt, tidal flooding, and strong winds make it especially suited to sites on or near the shoreline, where it is also serves as natural wind breaks against strong sea breezes. The leaves, seed, and bark have traditionally used as fish poison, which is released into water to stun fish for easy capture. Threats, less concern. More information. B. asiatica grows as a mangrove associate in coastal location including sandy and rocky seashores, coral sand flats, and mangrove swamp from sea level up to 350-meter altitude. It is a common plant in mangroves and wetlands on islands in the Indian and Pacific Ocean. Poloni 1987, Yeplito 2001, Flora of China Editorial Committee 2014. It can be also found in garden and city parks where it is grown along streets for decorative and shade purposes. In the Philippines, it is known as bitong, buton, or botong. Family Lycaethidaceae. Next. Calophyllum inophyllum. Distribution. The tree is native from East Africa through India and Southeast Asia to the Philippines, Taiwan, and the Marianas. Southward, its range extends through Melanesia to Australia and through southern and eastern Polynesia. The habitat is primarily coastal and adjacent to lowland forest, distribution widely dispersed throughout the tropics, including the Hawaiian and the other Pacific islands. Description. Canophyllum inophyllum is a low-branching and slow-growing tree with a broad and irregular crown. It usually reaches to 8 to 20 meters or 26 to 66 feet. The flower is 25 millimeter or 8.98 in wide and occurs in racemose or paniculate inflorescences consisting of 4 to 15 flowers. Flowering can occur perennially, but usually two distinct flowering periods are observed, in late spring and in late autumn. The fruit, the ball nut, is a round, green drupe measuring 2 to 4 cm or 0.79 to 1.57 inches in diameter and having a single large seed. When ripe, the fruit is wrinkled and its color varies from yellow to brownish red. Uses. Canophyllum inophyllum is a low branch. Canophyllum inophyllum is often planted as roadside tree to provide shade and as windbreaks with its large canopy. Informally known as mastwood, the tree has long been used in shipbuilding, such as the construction of canoes and small boats, but also for masts, keels, knees, and pulley blocks. Similar to the other species with bioenergy potential, nyangplang. Nyangplang is also used in medicine. In Mauritius, for example, liquefying roots by extracting the essence of substance is used to treat ulcers, boils, and ophthalmia. The bark can also be used to treat arthritis, while the latex has been traditionally used on skin to treat rheumatism and psoriasis. And a leaf extract is used to treat eye infection as an anti-inflammatory. The stone of the fruit are used as marbles. Threats, least concerns. More information. In island Southeast Asia and Oceania, Canophyllum Inophyllum are also commonly known as bintagor, bitaog, tamano, or kamani. The tree often grows in coastal regions as well as nearby lowland forests. However, it has also been cultivated successfully in inland areas at moderate altitudes. It tolerates varied kinds of soil, coastal sand, clay, or even degraded soil. The fruits are mildly poisonous if many are eaten. The medicinal oil extracted from the seed is used externally for skin diseases and injuries, and it is toxic if taken internally. Kamani is a prolific cedar, and the hard golf ball-sized fruits must be frequently cleaned up in the fall on sidewalks, streets, lawns, or other areas where sleeping on a seed can be very hazardous. Family Calophyllaceae. Hibiscus stillaceus. Distribution. Hibiscus stillaceus is a common coastal plant in eastern and northern Australia, Oceania, Maldives, South Asia, and Southeast Asia. It has become naturalized in parts of the New World such as Florida, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. It is uncertain if the species is islands native to Hawaii, as it may have been introduced by the Polynesians. Description. Hibiscus stillaceus reaches a height of 4 to 10 meter or 13 to 33 feet with a trunk up to 15 centimeter or 5.9 inches in diameter. The flowers of H. stillaceus or Hibiscus stillaceus are bright yellow with a deep red center upon opening. Over the course of the day, the flower deepen to orange and finally red before they fall. The branches of the tree often curve over time. The leaves are heart-shaped and deep red in the var rubra. Uses. The wood of H. stillaceus has a specific gravity of 0.6. It has been used in a variety of applications such as seacraft construction, firewood, and wood carvings. It is easy to plane and turns well, so it is regarded by many as a highly quality furniture wood. Plant fibers taken from the stems have traditionally been used in rope making, while its bark has been used like cork. In sealing cracks in both, the bark and roots may be boiled to make a cooling tea to cool fibers, and its young leafy shoots may be eaten as vegetables. More information. Hibiscus stillaceus or coast cottonwood, also known in the Philippines as bago, balabago, balibago, bawan, danglin, danglio, ganglog, hanot, laban, laugo, malabago, malibago, makarapas, mulabago, ragindi. H. stillaceus is common on or near beaches, mangrove swamps, and river estuaries, growing well on mud, marl, sand, and limestone. Although usually found in coastal and low elevation habitats, it can be found at elevation of up to 800 meters with annual rainfall of 900 to 2,500 milliliters, LVH 2006. H. stillaceus develops waste places. Hazelwood and Mater 1966. Family Malvasia. 4. Osbornea octodonta or similet wood. Distribution. The spread of similet wood tree starts from tropical Australia, Papua New Guinea, and several regions in Indonesia such as Papua, Nusa Tenggara, East Java, Northern Kalimantan, and Sulawesi. Apart from that, the tree was also found growing in a small part of the Philippines. Description. Similet wood tree growth is slow and it does not grow as large tree. In their wild habitat, similitude trees are only found as high as 7 to 5 meters. The bark is brownish gray and the branches are pale gray. In the wild, similitude trees have a shape similar to the Tyrantum tree. The Metzera, the leaves are the facing thin and smell aromatic when crushed or crushed. Egg shape 2 to 5 times 1 to 3 centimeter in diameter, and rounded leaf tips. The flower contain 1 to 3 buds and appear in the armpits of the pair of the leaflets in the shape of an oval. Uses. This wood is often used in construction or for railroad bearings. The bark is used to patch the leaking wood in boat walls. Its aromatic leaves are used by fishermen to repel mosquitoes. The leaves can be used to treat toothaches. More information. Similitude is a small tree species that live in a mangroves areas. This species is the only member of the genus Osbornea of the Myrtaceae family. Common names for the tree include tawales, baro, monot-bonot, and dulok-dulok. Similitude trees grow in open areas in mangrove areas or on the edge of the water that is affected by tides. The tree thrives on muddy, rocky, and sandy soil. Although, like damp soil, similitude trees cannot live in areas that are flooded with fresh water. Family Myrtaceae. 5. Pandanus tictorius. Pandanus tictorius exposed coastal headlands beaches from the Port Macquarie area to Cape York and Torres Strait Islands in Queensland. Also found in Polynesia, Micronesia, and Melanesia. Pandanus tictorius is a small tree which can reach 5 to 6 meters in height, comprising separate male and female trees. The leaves are linear to about 1 meter in length by 5 to 8 centimeter wide with sheathing bases. They emerge from the branches in a screw-like arrangement which gives rise to the common name. The leaves have short spines along the edges and on their midribs. The plants are supported at the base by proper roots which help to anchor the plant in sandy soil. The flowers occur in clusters surrounded by large bracts, and plants may flower throughout the year. Female plants produce large pineapple-like fruits comprised when ripe of yellow, red, or orange segments containing the individual seeds. Uses. The trunk and large branches are used for building materials in house construction and for firewood. Aerial roots are used in making house walls, as supports, and for various tools. Fibers from leaves of selective varieties are used to make mats, baskets, and a variety of other products, with whole leaves used for roofing. Mulch and compost. There are many traditional names and cultivated varieties selected for their fruit, which is very rich in valuable nutrients and minerals, and is eaten fresh or made into various preserved foods. Other uses include perfumes, garlands, paints, fuels, compost, and fishing baits and floats. In parts of the Pacific, pandanus fruit can constitute up to 50% of a person's energy intake, and even individuals may consume up to 1 kilogram per day. Mailer et al. 1956. Engelberger et al. 2003. More information. Pandanus dictorius naturally grows in coastal regions such as on mangrove margins and beaches. At elevations from sea level to 610 meter or 2,000 feet. It requires 1,500 to 4,000 milliliter or 59 to 157 inches of annual rainfall and seasons will fluctuate from wet to dry. P. dictorius occurs naturally in tropical and subtropical coastal areas, especially on sandy and rocky beaches. Raised coral terraces and recent lava flows, but including brackish areas on saline soil, coral, atoll sands, and peaty swamps. P. dictorius is normally found only in coastal habitats up to 20-meter elevation, though it will grow at higher altitudes, for example up to 600 meter in Hawaiian. Lettle and Skolme, 1989. Family Pandanaceae. That's all. Thank you.